This is Kitzur Yomi as we begin a new Siman Chof Gimel. And as we were going in order of davening, we are up to Krias HaTorah. The Hakdam over here teaches us that Krias HaTorah was the Takana Moshe Rabbeinu, then was further expanded by Ezra. And Monday and Thursday, Shabbos afternoons, etc., etc. is when we read the Torah. Let's see. Sif Aleph says the Kitzur K'shemay Tzion as Sefer Torah min Aron HaKodesh. And you carry it to the table, the beam by the table, you eat it there. You walk down the north side, which is to the right. The other way. A halacha which is obvious, you're righty, your right hand's your stronger hand. You're holding a Helig Sefer Torah, but unfortunately people mess this one up. You hold the Torah in your right hand. So another halacha. Sefer Torah, pass in front of you. You don't just let it go. You escort the Torah ad el ateva, and then vice versa. Again, these are ways of showing kavod to the Sefer Torah. You should walk a little bit with it. Betalis mituyat says you should wear a talis. You should go up to the Torah. They're waiting for you. You go the shortest way. The Yared, but then when you leave Derech Aruka, the longest way, why? No one's waiting for you anymore, and it shows a cover that you don't want to leave the Torah. Then but now you mountain, we waited to be much until the second day gets his aliyah of Yared being Gavra Ligavra. Which parenthetically, you see over here, the fact that it's a halacha to go derech Kitzara, to go up the short way, that we don't want to make the tzibur to wait, even for a moment. You might think, what do you mean? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? No, it's halacha. You want to find the quickest way to get up to the Torah, to start. Also, it shows the greatest covenant, of course, that you want to get to the Torah. But in order so no one has to wait. You see the place you're going to read from. And you leave it open. Now this is the way the Kitzur says to do it. We'll speak it out other ways, as number 9 points out, that the Mishmur explains why are you closing your eyes when you say the bracha, because we don't want to make it look as if the bracha is written in the Sefer Torah. Note number 9 also points out that if you want to keep your eyes open, you can just turn away when you're making the bracha. Berachos says everyone has own minhagim. So if the bracha is next door, you can look at the bracha. Berachos Hashem Vayrach Liyesh Loi Loimar Bekol K'dei Shishma Kol HaKol. Everyone could hear you. Ve'inu Berachos Hashem Berach Lo Invite. Ve'im Lo Yishamu HaTzibur. If they did not hear you as a Mevarech, Av Yishamu She'ach Tzibur. Aina, even though they heard everyone else answering, Lo Yana Imai, they're not allowed to answer. They can only answer if they hear you. Now, just parenthetically, we don't see here the minhag to close the Sefer Torah, and it sounds like that should not be done. There are sources to such, but it seems like the two better minhagim, we'll call it, is either to leave the Torah open, look on the side, or leave the Torah open and close one's eyes. Amen. Now you remove your left hand. You hold it only with your right hand. And you read along with him quietly. Again, another halacha. When you get an aliyah, you don't just sit there spacing out. You lay in along with the Baal Kairei. Have in mind the after the Kriya, now you grab with your left hand as well. You close it up. You don't want to hold the parchment with bare hands. Rather, if it is necessary, you hold it from the talis. Note 16 points out whether it's rolling, whether it is you have to lift it. You don't lift it with your hands itself. Or by the handles, of course. Some don't even hold on to the handles. Might have seen such minhagim that you hold it with the talis. Note 18 points out, if you're correcting or putting together the Sefer Torah, then you could obviously touch the parchment. There's no other way to do it. But again, we wash our hands first. The one who gets an aliyah, and the one who's reading Sarach Lam, they have to stand up. Al Shem Davar also, you should not even lead. We have to stand with awe. The exchange in the Torah Be'ema. The Torah was given Be'ema, with smoke, with clouds, with shayfer, note 19 points out. So too, when we read the Torah, we're recreating Maimed Har Sinai. If you're weak, you'll have to lean a little bit. Smicha kol, do a little bit in order to provide yourself enough support. Also, note 20 points out, if you have to read the top lines, you can lean in order to see the Torah. Now, it is a point of discussion. Let's say someone's not able to stand, whether this halach is ma'akiv, they're not allowed to get aliyah, is a different story. When the one getting the aliyah says, this is very important. People think, yeah, I stand by Krias HaTorah, and they sit by the Berachos, and they stand by the laning. That's a terrible mistake. Says the Kitzur, it's evav shrichi kol etzibur lamud by the bracha. Aval b'shas shemer bracha shebachar banu v'chem shasai kriya hu shas bracha achroina ein chiyuv. There's no chiyuv shamdu akal to stand. Al medaktik ibim mitzvahs, if you're a medaktik machmir al atzman v'imdim esem v'chinachin. Again, but let's just listen. The beginning, the Baruch Hashem Baruch Hu Hashem Vayrach, Baruch Hashem Vayrach L'Nvayed, everyone holds you have to stand. Avol bin Gavra Gavra Ein Lahach Min Klal, you don't have to stand at all between Aliyos. Siv Zayin Makar Batzu Oila Torah. Sarach She'amad Acher Etzlai. Someone should stand next to him. Kshem Shenit Na Torah Ayidei Sarsur. The Torah was given intermediary. Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom Kachon Neshichin Lenagva Ayidei Sars. So you want to have another person standing there. And I know 22 points out a Meir Dika Mishnah Brura. Note 22 teaches us the Baal Kairei is a Kadosh Baruch Hu giving the Torah. The one next to him is Moshe Rabbeinu, and someone else that's going to be there. I mean, that's going to be the other person. Mishnah Brura says, well, we don't have this issue because we have other people at the bima. Says Mishnah Brura, we always have three people: the Gabbai, the one making the bracha, the Gabbai, the one that calls up. He's representative of the giver of the Torah. The one reading is representative of Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem's intermediary, and the Oila is Klal Yisrael. Absolutely incredible to realize how what we would think is just a simple Krias HaTorah is mamish, representative of Maimed Har Sinai. Sivchaz, Kivshis like her, once he begins to read, Aser l'cholak halidaber. It is Aser, and note 23 points out, even if you heard Krias HaTorah, the Torah is being read, you're not allowed to talk. Filu b'divrei Torah, filu being gavra legavra, between Aliyos, you're not allowed to talk. Vaslas v'zikaneses, you're not even allowed to leave the shul b'shashikar about Torah when the Torah is being read. Even there's going to be other people there, it's not covered, how can you leave? Being gavra legavra, if Torah migul geles, then yachalatis l'tzorech gadol, and just shows us how careful we have to be during Krias HaTorah. Sif Tess, and with this we conclude, Kishish kain v'zikaneses, yichal likros ha'isei tchila, filu ma'aretz. As long as he's kosher, Ukaidim comes first. Afilu Talmud Chacham, the Kain comes first. Filim Kain, right to Limcha, we don't do that nowadays. Lai Mahani, the Kain gets Rishon. V'achar Kain Karan Levi, V'mein Sham Levi. And if there is no Levi, Kain is a Kain Sha'ayla, the Kain that got the first Levi gets it again. B'mkaim, V'aymer B'makam Levi. V'ein Kain V'esek, and that's no Kain at all. Then Kain B'makam Levi, then call a Levi or Yisrael in place of the Kayin. V'yesh leikrais, but in such a scenario, and this is something that sometimes people get messed up. So Yeser Gadol B'Torah Shenimsa Sham, he should get the Aliyah. So if there's no Kayin, then really the Talmud Chacham, the oldest person in Shul, gets that first Aliyah. V'ayimrim emein nikan Kayin Levi makam Kayin, or Yisrael b'makam Kayin. V'im Kari Yisrael b'makam Kayin, ein Kari Nachrav Levi, not to give Levi after him. Yishav Shekulim, you're not to give Levi after him. In note 35 points out, if they give Levi Kayin, they don't get it. You don't give a second Levi, because then it's going to be a Shaila. Wait, was the first Levi good? So you always go down to Yisrael. Now the next case, actually, someone told me they had this over Yontif. They went away, and it's a very small minion. Yishav Shekulim Kaihanim. What do you do? He asks Sheilas Chacham, call up someone before an Echis Nagu. Stop over here. B'siyata Dishmaya.